Got to get in this tank and sort some of these other males out of here. I want to get rid of the ones with the round tails and just focus on the sword tail ones. Like that guy right there coming out front there with the little points. I think that'd be a pretty neat looking little fish. That's the thing about endlers and stuff. You get to do that kind of stuff pretty easy with them. The hard part is just getting them to not breed. Ha ha. You know, I just figured I'd just give you guys a quick run around. I'm just going and feeding all the fish here. I got some lights finally. I do got to get some more lights for the top. Just a mix of African cichlids. These cichlids here are actually my tank that I scoop out of the sump. So like this is my overflow cichlid tank where I get the babies from the sump and I just put them in here. Basically, it's what you see is what you get. I offer these ones for, you know, pretty decent of a price. You know, $5–10 a cichlid, depending on size, I guess, right? If I put a bunch of food into them, I'd like to get some of that money back for the food, right? And there's these guys. These guys are starting to get a little bit of size and color on them now. Probably starting to breed. Labdacromis or something, I think they are. And then red top, Hogons, and Labnacrotus, Mambamba Bay. Yeah, they're going to be pretty cool looking cichlids. These ones are a lot more aggressive than your average peacocks and stuff, though. I've noticed they definitely have their tuffles on their rock piles. And these are my red shoulders. There's the main male. Oh, he's seen the camera. Yeah, that one male in the front isn't the main male. There's the main male coming out the front. Yeah, see the difference? The one male tries to stay dulled down so he's not basically picking a fight with the other one, right? Still gotta get lights on the top of that tank. These guys are always hungry, right? Just throw a couple pinches in there like that. Sit and enjoy for a second. All right, that is a fun African cichlid tank. I got the lights now on the other stand so we get the glare off the other side. I need to get facades put in on this here, on this side here. But I got some lights. We'll talk about those in a minute. That's a pretty good deal. I'm hoping they've only been on here for about a week, so I haven't been able to see much of a difference yet in growth or anything. But they are 6,000 to 6,500 K, and they only run 18 watts. So that's a pretty good deal. 18 watts, as in my other lights. I'm not even sure if I got an old pair of them somewhere, but I'm pretty sure the one set of lights I had, I think they were Biingo or something like that. And those ran 42 watts a light. So to go from 42 watts a light to 18 watts a light, that's definitely gonna help me on the price and the cost of running the fish tanks with the lights, at least anyways. So there we'll go over. Who else hasn't got it? Oh, these guys up here. Give them a throw. We're gonna do a quick run around. I just figured I'm doing a quick feeding on everybody, so I figured I'd just do a quick run around and just go around with you guys a little bit. These guys here are starting to get quite the little colony of them going here. It's a mix of, I think a Morocco Endler, like the red ones you see there, or Morocco Endler, and then Tiger Endlers. glare's bad on that tank. The bubbles splash out of this tank a lot, so I get a lot of stuff on there. Not the best looking flower horn, but he's definitely got a pretty nice shape, and he's definitely putting on a lot of size, this guy. I've got her. These guys, I'm gonna have to go around. Under here, this my little tube here is plugged. We got to get a screw and dig out that little hair or whatever's in there. That's what I got to watch for all the time. Is every now and then one of those will get clogged up like that, so I got to go poke it out. We got some black Calvis now in here. I've always wanted some black Calvis, so I'm gonna set up a little tank for the black Calvis, and then I got baby little lupi and black Calvis in here. I'm just growing them out. And here comes a couple of the Calvis. They're only about maybe an inch right now, 3/4 of an inch to an inch. They're fun fish to grow out. They're pretty cool looking when they get grown up and all develop the way they're supposed to look. These are just some overflow, I think they're blue dragons. There's some swordtails and endlers and some, what are they, golden grommies or honey grommies, sorry, I think they're called. Yeah, that tank's starting to get, they're starting to grow up pretty good. Some of the males are starting to get their long fins and stuff like that. I do want to move these over. I'm going to set up a breeding colonies basically on these 6 tanks. Now they're empty. I'm going to set these up. I'm waiting for lights because I'd like to get them scaped and planted and stuff. And I'll show you guys how I'm going to do that or whatever. And then I'm just going to have all my breeders in here for my live bearers and smaller fish. And I'm going to try and do some mops in here for the rainbows I have in that tank. And I'm going to try and really start hunkering down and trying to get some baby fish here. So it'll be interesting over the next little bit to see how I succeed at that. But you know, you got to try different things to know if you're doing it right or wrong, I guess. That's part of learning. Parrotfish. This is a breeding colony. I took all the babies out of here. Now I got them over in the other tank raising up. Man, it's warm in here when I get that fire going. I'm sweating. That's the only thing with the humidity in here. I think right now the humidity is like 83% or something like that in here, right? So these are some triple reds and neons. And these are some of the ones I'd like to start breeding a lot more of myself. These are pretty easy fish to take care of. They can handle a wide range of aquarium parameters, and they're live bearers. So for like a fish to, and they're super pretty. Like they're super pretty. And it's a good fish to get you started out, or just to continue in the fish hobby. I think they're super cool. You do have to be careful with live bearers though. They do carry Calaminus worms, and that's the little red hairs. If your fish has little red hairs coming out of his butt, that's Calaminus worms. And yeah, that's no good. Unfortunately, here in Canada, that's super difficult to to treat. So unfortunately, that's if I see the Calaminus worms, unfortunately for that fish, that's a death sentence. I remove that fish instantly because I don't risk having that spread around. But that's also what the importance of a quarantine tank, right? Because then if you bring in new fish, you can have them in another tank that's not hooked up to your system until you know they don't have worms and stuff, right? And other stuff. So, but yeah, it was pretty neat. The other day I got these guys. They were breeding in here, so that'd be fun. Get these guys, but yeah, they definitely eat well. And the grow outs, they're getting huge. They're not tiny little fry anymore. They're starting to look like fish. Yeah. Super fun. Here's Mr. Attitude. I haven't got around to doing their tanks yet. I just, you know, Christmas time and all that. It's a lot of money just to operate a room like this. So it's sometimes difficult to get money to buy new and move forward and stuff like that. The holding cost is quite a bit. So, but you know, when you get to enjoy things like that in the privacy of your own home and stuff like that, like how can you not enjoy that? That's just awesome. And I enjoy that on multiple tanks all the way around here. Sometimes I wonder, I'm like, oh man, why do I spend my money and my time doing all this? And then you go and see a tank like this and you're like, oh yeah, that's why. I think it's worth every penny. That's a pretty tank, man. I got to get in here with a razor blade. I did up the lights on it and stuff. I got some more lights on it. So, of course, now the algae is starting to grow on the glass. So now I'm going to have to get a razor blade scraper. My little hand scraper is not quite doing the job anymore. These rainbows are fired up. Let's see if we can get one of these rainbows on here. The rainbows don't like the camera. They see the camera and they're like, whoa, but yeah. Orange Bosmani males. They're all fired up, colored up there this morning. They're just coming into adult size. They're still, I guess, on the bottom end of adult size. Young adult, I'd say. They were juveniles. They're starting to put on some size now, but yeah, look at the colors on those. Isn't that cool? Get some food in here for these guys, and then they'll calm down. Get skittish when they're wondering why I'm here. If I'm feeding them, they're like, "Oh, okay, yay, let's eat." Rummy nose. The leaf litter, I do add leaves, and eventually I'd like to have leaf litter all the way across here, right? All leaf litter, and I am slowly starting to fill it up. But when you're adding leaf litter to a tank that's already established, you got to make sure you're only adding a little bit at a time so the tank can adjust itself to taking on those extra organisms in life. If you just go and throw a crap ton of leaves in a tank that's already set up, you're going to crash that tank. Your pHs are going to jump all over the place, usually drop because the water is going to go acidic from the breakdown of the leaves, right? So when you're adding leaves and stuff like that to a tank that's already going like this, it's only a few at a time, say a handful a week. Well, for me, this is a 340 gallon tank, so I add about a little handful a week, right? And what I do most of the time for the leaves and stuff like that is I go collect them myself. This is oak leaves from an oak tree from down the street. When you're collecting the leaves and stuff like that, you want to make sure they're not sprayed with pesticides and stuff like that, right? So that way they're clean, and a way you can boil them and rinse them and then dry them again if you want for storage. But yeah, I just leaves from down the street from the oak tree. And then I just throw in a few at a time, just like that. And then I usually let them just sit on the top and float around, and then they'll slowly absorb into the water over the week and sink. And when those ones start to sink and they're down at the bottom, I'll throw in another little handful of leaves. And I'm hoping in time, like I said, it's starting to pile up. I even got some pine cones and stuff. And then we're just gonna let this fill right up with leaves. And in the back side, I'm gonna have to top back up with the sand again. And the backside, I'm just going to have all plants growing up off of there, right? And then the front, I want just all leaf litter. I think that'll be pretty cool. That's a pretty close nature aquarium. But I don't hear any popping and cracking on my fire here. I gotta go over and we gotta get some wood down in our fire before it goes out on us. Oh yeah, it's almost out on us already. That's the one thing is, if you don't watch this, because it does, you just burn smaller sticks, and it's, you know, I chop them down to just small little sticks, so that way it burns hot and fast. But if you're not watching, it burns itself out pretty quick. There we go, and away we go. It's going again. We got to get some wood put in here. Yeah, I'm wobbling around, bringing you guys. This is just stacking the fire. I wasn't planning on doing that, but I forgot. I'm doing it. I didn't mean to take so long. But if you watch this far, thanks for watching. I better get my hands busy so I'm not just wobbling around with this camera. But yeah, there's a short little feeding, some smaller fish, and hope you guys have a great day. Yep, stay busy and, you know, be proud of yourself with every accomplishment. Every little accomplishment you do, and be grateful for all the little things that you sometimes may overlook. You're worth it. Talk to you guys later. Bye now.